Hello and welcome back to another one of my videos. Today I'm going to be doing my first ever clay video where I'm going to be sculpting and making different things using clay and then painting them. I'm going to start by prepping my surface and just using some plastic food wrap and put it all over my surface just for easier cleanup, and that way I didn't have to worry about getting the countertops dirty or messy. Now I'm going to get a cup of water and some toothpicks just to help with the smaller details and putting things together, and now I'm just going to cut open this fresh bag of clay. I have never really worked with clay outside of art class before, so I was super excited to get into it. I've seen many other YouTube creators doing things with clay, and it really helped to inspire me, which hopefully I'm able to inspire you all. The first thing I'm going to be making is a keychain. I wanted to make some clay beads and then have one larger piece that would lay on the end of the keychain. I'd been wanting to do this for a little while, and when I finally got my hands on some clay, I knew this was the exact first thing I wanted to do. So first I'm just rolling out a bunch of small balls, and then I'm going to take the toothpick and I'm sticking it through to make a hole so that way I can string all of the beads together. So that's what I'm doing first. I already had a complete vision in my mind of all of the colors, and I couldn't wait to do the painting, but first I had to do all of the sculpting. And it sure took a while to do each individual small bead, as easy as it might seem, but the real struggle was yet to come. First I made the large circle, and then I was going to make some waves and like a sunset, but I was really struggling with the waves. The first one came out really nicely, and then when I went to carve the sun, I totally messed it up, and it was just had put too much water on it. It was all starting to stick together, so I had to completely restart, and I struggled many times to carve the perfect waves and had to continue to redo it, and eventually I just had to go off camera and really get down on the same level, and finally I was able to come up with some sort of good waves. I was going to have it layered on top and not smooth it thin because I really wanted to get some dimension in it. So now you see my final waves, and I ended up not even using the sun from the same carve, and I ended up just rolling out and smashing a circle and then carving a little divot into it and using that. Then I carved off the excess clay on either sides, rolled it together, made sure it was all nice and combined, poked a hole through the top, and called it a day. Next, I looked at the toothpicks, and they really inspired me to make a mini cake pop. I thought it would look just so adorable to incorporate the toothpick with the clay, so I rolled out a ball and then made my icing, stuck it together, and added just some cake texture, and then I ended up sticking it right onto the stick, and it is just so adorable. I couldn't wait to paint it. The first one I made did not go so well. I messed it up when I was trying to add the cake texture, so I ended up restarting, and I think I like the second version better. This time I did all of the cake texture before I put the icing on, and I think it turned out much better. I had to come up with a unique way to sit and let this dry since it was on a toothpick, so I stuffed it in the top of a paper towel. Now for my final project of the video. I had seen many different creators out there making these clay rings, and I thought I should totally try this. It'd be so cute. So I made one ring, and initially I was going to make it a little froggy ring because I've seen so many people doing that, but mine just didn't turn out the way I wanted it to, and it would have looked more like a bear than a frog with bear ears instead of frog eyes. So I ended up just removing those two half circles and doing it a basic ring, and then with some extra clay that was still out, I ended up just rolling it together and making a small mini ring to go with it. At this point I had finished making all of my clay figures, and all that they needed was a good 24 hours to dry, and that's why I wasn't able to post this video during the weekend, because it just took so long to dry and I did not account for the amount of time it would need. But here I am with the dried rings. I decided to do these first because they were small and they were the first two to dry, so they were the first two I was able to paint. I started with this light blue color for the larger of the two rings, and I just painted the whole thing solid colors. You're going to see that a lot of these are just going to be a basic paint job, more of a block color style than more of the in-depth detailed style, but that's okay because I think I like the simplistic look for these pieces. Maybe next time when I'm more experienced with clay, my second time around, I can get a little more detail onto it and even going in with more detail on the painting. But here I am adding some polka dots onto the blue ring, and I've decided to leave the pink ring all pink as an accent. I think that these two are quite basic but also quite cute. I even tried them on. Don't see myself wearing these on a regular basis and don't know exactly how functional they really are, but I think they're definitely really cute for display or just to wear for one of these videos. Here's a close-up of them. And now for me to paint the second piece in the video, and probably my favorite piece in the whole video, the keychain. With the colors I wanted already in mind, it was very easy to mix them up, except for the pinky peach color. It took me a very long time to find the exact color that I wanted, as you can tell from looking at all of the pink mixed up on the canvas. Since there were 6 beads and 3 colors that I wanted to use, I was able to paint 2 beads of each color, and then I ended up incorporating all 3 colors on the main bead. Thankfully, I didn't have that many crevices on this big bead because it was a very large struggle trying to get in between the ocean waves and the sunshine with the peach, but then still having the raised edges to paint blue and yellow. It was just a hot mess and definitely got messy. Luckily I was able to touch it up, but it still wasn't perfect. I was very thankful for all of the flat areas I had to cover, and I think that this turned out just so pretty. I love the color block design, and I could easily whip out a bunch more keychains just like this one, only with different designs on the centerpiece bead. I think this would be such a fun project to do, and I was just having a blast painting this. I really hope you guys like this as much as I do, because it was definitely my favorite clay piece of the video. Now I'm going to be bringing in some string and a metal clasp, because I need to tie all of these beads together to make it an actual keychain instead of just a bunch of beads floating around. So first I just cut the string, strung it through the largest bead, and then I strung both ends through all of the beads that remained. I used the toothpick to help push the string through, which was definitely a very good idea, otherwise I would have been here for a very long time. I was so thankful that I made the holes as big as I did, or else I would have been here for a whole lot longer. Then I needed to string the beads through the clasp, and there I had it. You can use this clasp and you can loop it together to make a bigger loop to attach onto other things, or you can keep it small if you have something smaller you're going to attach it to. And now I am painting the cake pop. This thing turned out so darn cute, and it's so adorable and tiny. I don't really know what you would use it for, but I love it. I decided to make it a chocolate cake pop with strawberry icing, and this chocolate was just so perfect in color, and same with this pink for the strawberry icing. I didn't have to mix up any of the colors, they just were perfect straight out of the bottle, and I didn't want to leave it this basic, so I went in with my trusty Poscas and added some sprinkles to the top, because every good dessert needs some sprinkles. Then I went in with my thin white Posca just to add some little dot sprinkles all over it, and there we have our little cake pop, which is just so adorable, so cute, and so tiny. And these are our finished products. We have the rings, which are just more decorative. We have our beautiful keychain that just is so peachy, so perfect, so bright, and so amazing. And we have our little cake pop that's there for decorative and fun. Now for some close-ups of all of the things I made this video. Thank you all for watching, and I hope I could art-inspire you today with at least one of these 3 objects, and I will see you guys next weekend. Bye!